Ira Einhorn, born on May 15, 1940, he was a charismatic countercultural figure in the 1960s and 1970s. He was known as the Unicorn Killer due to his last name, which means unicorn in German. He was also heavily involved in the environmental movement in the early 70s. One of his biggest moments was when he spoke at the very first Earth Day event in Philadelphia in 1970. An event that Einhorn claims to have been instrumental in creating and launching. But event organizers dispute his account. Nevertheless, in 1972 Einhorn began a relationship with a woman by the name of Holly Maddox, a graduate of Bryn Mawr College. And just days after they met, Maddox moved into Einhorn's Powelton Village apartment, and the two began a tumultuous 5-year relationship. Friends and family described Maddox as a bright, elegant young woman who quickly got swept up in Einhorn's charisma. But in 1977, Maddox broke up with Einhorn and moved to New York. Einhorn did not take the news well. He called her in a rage, threatening to throw her personal belongings onto the street if she didn't come back to the apartment to pick them up. On September 9, 1977, Maddox returned to the Powelton Village apartment she had previously shared with Einhorn to collect her belongings, and was never seen again. When the Philadelphia police questioned Einhorn about Maddox's mysterious disappearance, he simply claimed that she had gone out to buy some tofu and sprouts, and never came back. The Maddox family grew frustrated over the lack of progress in the investigation, so they hired a private detective to uncover hidden evidence and expose IRS Einhorn as a killer. The private detective spoke to a student who lived in the apartment below Einhorn's. The student recalled that one night in 1977, when he had heard a blood-curdling scream, accompanied by loud bangs. As time passed, the student also observed a reddish-brown, foul-smelling liquid dripping down from the ceiling directly below Einhorn's apartment. But when the landlord called plumbers to fix the leak, Einhorn had refused to let them in to investigate the place the dripping was coming from: a padlocked closet near Einhorn's bedroom. Nevertheless, the private investigator passed this information over to then homicide detective Mike Chitwood, who used this new information to obtain a search warrant on Einhorn's apartment on March 28, 1979. During the search, Chitwood and other officers noticed a foul odor coming from Einhorn's balcony closet. At the very bottom of the closet was a locked steamer trunk that Detective Chitwood broke into with a crowbar. At that point, he stopped and called for the medical examiner. Chitwood said to Einhorn, who had been watching, "The entire time it looks like we found Holly," with Einhorn replying back with "You found what you found," while walking back into the apartment. At the time, Holly Maddox had been reported missing for more than 18 months. Einhorn was arrested and charged with Maddox's murder. He hired former Philadelphia District Attorney Arlen Specter as his defense attorney. And although Einhorn was charged with first-degree murder, Judge Armand Della Porta set bail at only 10% of $40,000, and Einhorn easily paid the $4,000 and walked out of jail right before his trial began in 1981. And just days before his murder trial was to begin, Einhorn skipped bail and fled to Europe. He lived there for the next 17 years and married a Swedish woman named Annika Flodin. But despite his absence from the trial, in 1993, Einhorn was tried in absentia and convicted of Maddox's murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Einhorn's flight from justice led to an international manhunt. He lived under various aliases in Europe, including in Ireland and Sweden, before being apprehended in France in 1997. After his arrest in France, Einhorn fought extradition to the United States for several years. His legal team argued that he would not receive a fair trial due to the passage of time and the media attention surrounding the case. However, in 2001, France extradited Einhorn to the United States to face trial. Following his extradition, Einhorn continued to appeal his conviction and challenged the legality of his extradition. He took the stand in his own defense, claiming that Maddox was murdered by CIA agents who attempted to frame him due to his investigations into the Cold War and psychotronics. However, these efforts were largely unsuccessful. And In 2002, Einhorn was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, finally giving the Maddox family closure on the death of Holly Maddox. The Ira Einhorn case remains one of the most infamous criminal cases in modern American history. The case played a significant role and impacted many of those involved in this case careers along the way. Detective Mike Chitwood would eventually become the Upper Darby chief and superintendent before retiring in 2019, while his son Mike Chitwood Jr. served as chief of police in the Daytona Beach Police Department from 2006 to 2016. He became the sheriff of Volusia County in 2017, after which he conducted police reform with the goal of reducing use of force and bias among officers. Ira Einhorn's defense attorney Arlen Specter served as a United States Senator from Pennsylvania from 1981 to 2011. He was the longest-serving senator from Pennsylvania, having represented the state for 30 years. Ira Einhorn remained incarcerated until his death on April 3 of 2020. According to reports, he died from natural causes. Now, as always, we would like to know what you think about this video down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.